and host of the John Fredericks Show. Also with me, Republican strategist Sean Walsh. Welcome to you both.
Hello.
Thanks, Carol.
Hello. John, I'll ask you the first question. So Congress now has DACA to deal with. Should President Trump have punted it over to Congress?
Well, I think he didn't have a choice right now. They're trying to find, Carol, a legislative solution to an order that President Obama made, which is unlawful and unconstitutional. There were 10 state attorney generals that were going to initiate a lawsuit today, and Department of Justice Secretary Jeff Sessions, Attorney General, said it isn't going to stand. Now, what the Attorney General laid out today... So why didn't President Trump just end it? Well, he did end it, but he's giving a window for Congress to find a longer-term answer to this, Carol. But one of the misnomers that I want to put out there, that everybody thinks that, well, there's a 6-month extension and that's going to attract more immigrants to come in. The way it was outlined today from the White House is that as of today, as we are speaking, they are not taking, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, is not taking any more DACA applications, period. So the program has effectively ended today. Now the question becomes, what do we do with the 690,000, the average age of 25 right now, these 690,000 people that have work permits and federal benefits under the DACA program? What happens to them? But today, Carol, at 11 a.m.
They don't have federal benefits under the DACA program. Most of them are working or in college. Social
Security is a federal benefit.
They also pay taxes.
That's a federal benefit.
I just want to get all the information out there.
They're in the federal benefit program, Carol. They're paying taxes. They're in the federal benefit program. But what happened today at 11 a.m. is the Department of Justice cut off all new apps. So that's it. Anybody that's in process, they'll get adjudicated properly, but there are no more applications as of right now.
Got it.
So President Trump has effectively ended the program.
I want to bring in Sean, because this is a momentous decision for much of the country. There will be massive protests all over the country. We both know, right? We all know that that will happen. So will the DACA decision being passed to Congress overwhelm its agenda, Sean?
I hope not, and I don't think so. Actually, I've been in federal government and state government for most of my professional life, and oftentimes you get significant legislative accomplishments in times of pressure or crisis. So I'm hoping that with the debt ceiling issue and the hurricane relief...
Because this Congress hasn't done much lately.
Well, that's my point, though. My point being is you now have a crisis situation, I think, with the DACA issue. And I think the president pushing this onto Congress, which is the constitutionally appropriate place to pass a law and to change our immigration policies, is the right place to be. And now it's really on the Speaker, it's on the minority leader, it's on the Senate leader to actually come up with, I think, comprehensive immigration reform. I think we can solve the total problem. DACA, unfortunately, is a bit of a pressure point issue, but I think we can solve a whole host of issues using this issue as a pressure point to make and force Congress to act.
So, John, do you agree? Because Congress didn't do so well with Obamacare. So what makes anyone think that they can do better with immigration, which is really complicated, too?
Well, I think,
well, there are
number
so
one...
many... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, John. No, I just wanted John's opinion on this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, no problem. Carol, look, and Sean, there are so many legal immigration reform issues on the table right now. The wall, the Reform Act, sanctuary cities, these are all not going to get acted on immediately. But one thing that Congress is going to have to grapple with is DACA. And do they extend it? And that'll get on the agenda, and Republicans are going to be the ones that have to deal with this going forward, because what the president did today is he effectively ended the program, I mean, as of now. And so for those 690,000 people that reapply, they're going to let them reapply, go through a 2-year process. When that 2-year process is over, if Congress hasn't acted, they're not going to get a work permit. They're not going to be able to go forward. Now they become undocumented workers.
Right.
And they're going to have to go through a process to be able to stay in the country legally. So Congress
it's
is
very
going to attempt to act on it.
I just want to get this
Yes.
question into Sean because I have read this. Do you think that there will be a push? You know, Mr. Trump wants to build the wall, right? So in order to keep the dreamers here in the United States, might those be negotiating points?
I think that's the whole thing. I think the DACA, unfortunately, on the backs of some of these kids, is where you're going to actually see a comprehensive immigration reform. I think you've got a budget that's coming up. So I think the White House will probably negotiate with the members of Congress saying fund the border wall, fund E-Verify, and then we can once we have a border protection wall and E-Verify, we'll talk about legalizing these kids and giving adults a pathway to citizenship. I think it's a comprehensive reform that has to happen and probably will happen, and this is the lever point to try and push Democrats in Congress to get some of the other more conservative aspects that the president and some Republicans in Congress want to see.
I hope both of you are right. I hope there is comprehensive immigration reform because we've needed it in this country for quite some time, and then we wouldn't have these sorts of problems. So Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, we're urging you, act, and act responsibly, and act quickly. John Fredericks, Sean Walsh, thanks so much. And